Hello everyone, my name is Deep. And palworld just released its biggest update so far, and it has a lot of bug fixes and changes to the game that I'm so excited to go through. So I decided I want to do it. I'll drink a water and do it. Yeah, it's been a while since you see my face around here, right? Yeah. Let's go through this. Fixed an issue where the game would crash under certain conditions. Yeah, to me personally, the game never crashed, so I'm not sure what conditions used to trigger this, but I'm glad they fixed it. But anyways, fixed an issue where if another player's PAL/base PAL had 30% or less HP, it could be captured by using a sphere. This is a great fix. I wasn't really playing on online, so I was never really damaged through this, but of course it must be terrible to have your PAL stolen from another player. Fixed an issue where the enemy PALs would get stuck in walls due to charged attacks. Yeah, that's definitely something that happened when I was playing the game sometime. I'm not sure when, but I was facing one of those plant capybaras and suddenly she charged, or she was knocked back, and she was just stuck on the ground. Not on the ground, on a wall, like on a big stone, and I couldn't hit her or capture it, but I was still receiving damage from it. I'm not sure if I posted it already, probably not, but that was pretty annoying to deal with, and I'm glad they fixed that already. It wasn't that hard to trigger too, so that fix really, it's great. It's just great that they are addressing some fixes that, some glitches that were like harming the player experience, not just exploits that players could do, but rather the ones that would just damage your experience unconsciously. Implemented the first fix for an issue where the game would always crash and save data would be corrupted when the guild's total number of PALs captured reached around 7,000. Yeah, I haven't experienced that. I'm not sure if you can trigger that on single player. I'm not sure if you already are on the guild on single player. Whenever I play with my friends, we never really went that far as get 7,000 PALs. So that also must sucks. The game no longer crashes even if the total number of captured objects exceeds 7,000. However, the save data that has already been in this state, in the case of a server, the server world's data prior to this update will still be unable to load. Yeah, that makes sense. Probably due to coding, it was impossible to retrieve the data on the previous server. I mean, they did what they could. I don't think this is a bad thing. It just maybe there wasn't anything they could do about it. We are continuing to work on fixing this issue permanently. So maybe they are trying to look for to be able to retrieve the server, maybe, but or does that mean that somehow this can happen still in another way? This last phrase here got me it got a little dubious for me. I'm not sure if they really fixed the problem or not. Key configuration. Added support for mouse sides and key numeric keypads in keyboard key configuration. Further improvements are currently planned, such as support for interact key configuration. Dude, added support for mouse side keys. That is great. It's awesome, man. I cannot say how frustrated I was when my only option to dodge was either control or the button that is left from Z, and whatever stupid button. When I have two buttons here in my mouse, my mouse, I had these two buttons that I always use for dodging and stuff like that, and it's great having to use these guys because I got really frustrated when I was having to use control on it. It's not a good key to use when you need precision and reflex. You have to either use this part of your hand or your last finger right here. I don't know how you call that in English, but thanks. That was so far. It is already the biggest improvement I've seen in the game. Is this player issues? Fixed an issue where players on dedicated servers and co-op online were receiving damage twice. Yeah, definitely. I played co-op a little bit, not actually co-op, on a dedicated server a little bit, and I didn't really notice this, but if they fixed that, must have been happening, so great. Specification has been changed so that you can move an extremely low speed even when you have exceeded weight the limit. So that means that you can move while overcumbered. Let's test this out right now. All right, here we are at one of our bases, and let's test this thing. You can see that 1.4 is already here, so we are in the current situation. Here we are way over the weight we can have as limit, so yeah, we can still move. That is great, because there was one thing about this grappling hook that happened and happens all the time, is that sometimes you can just get stuck in the ground with this animation where you stand like this, and it's terrible to have to use this to move around. Yeah, this time it's not glitching anything, but anyways, I'm happy that they fixed this. Not fixed, but improved that. It's a great improvement, in my opinion. And it's great because you want to really have fun in palworld. You just don't want to have to worry too much about the survival aspects of it. Even though survival is an important aspect of palworld, it's not that important than have fun. Not more important than have fun. And I think that that limitation of having to be stuck on the ground and then walking a little bit to then pick up, and then walk a little bit, drop the bunch of items again, and then pick up. It was just a bad way of moving around, and sometimes you would do that because you don't want to make a lot of travels, a lot of movement around, and that way it's just better because you are moving in a really low speed anyways, if you do that thing or not. So yeah, to me it was a great thing. Players will no longer pass through walls when dismounting. That one personally didn't happen to me. Never happened to me. But yeah, if you cannot do that anymore, then great. But I'm not sure how to trigger that because I haven't really been through this issue. Fix an issue where capture power strengthened by Leaf Moon effigies was reset when using memory reset drugs. That is actually very much needed, and I am glad they did it so fast, because I had no idea you lost the capture of the power capture of the Leaf Moon if you reset your... I haven't even unlocked that drug yet, so... And I was intending to reset my stats because I'm not completely happy with the state I put points in. So yeah, thanks. I'm just sad for the people that actually got to use this drug and lost all their capture power. It must suck so much. Fixed an issue where armor could be equipped in the wrong yeah, on the wrong slot. Yeah, I've seen clips of this. It was such a stupid bug. A stupid glitch, and yeah, that should definitely be one of our priorities. I mean, this is just one thing that is players can do that to themselves, you know. If they want to have that much power that is completely not intended to be and not harm other players, fine. But when you put this on a dedicated server where they are kind of competing for resources and stuff like that, it's just kind of messed up that you have this on your game, and it's great that they're removing that. Adjusted camera position of several piles to make it easier to see when mounted. Yeah, I don't think I've been with any of the piles that really block your view. Maybe one. I've heard that the last dragon, that jet dragon, something like that, it was kind of messy sometimes, but yeah, if they fix that, that's great. Base issues, yeah, these kind of issues is the ones that I probably had the most so far, and I am excited to see what they are fixing here. Kind of, yeah. Specifications have been changed so that pals who are manually assigned to a breeding farm will not become hungry, and their manual assignments will not be removed. Alright, I'm not quite sure about that manual assignments will not be removed part, but for the part of not becoming hungry, this is I think that just makes sense. Like, you are already spending a cake that you could be feeding your pals with, because cake is very expensive to make, and on top of that, the pals would also eat more food. Like, that doesn't make much sense for me. So the cake, so they being breeding and doing and not getting hungry is just perfect. Thanks. That's really good. and that manual assignments will not be removed. I'm not sure what that means. Surely they won't keep working when you are assigned to breeding, right? That's not what it means. So it must mean that must means that sometimes when you were I'm not sure what that means. I'm sorry. Maybe I think I know what it is. Sometimes when I got TP'd, when I TP'd somewhere and then I came back, one of my pals that were breeding suddenly was not there anymore. So I think that fixes that. Sometimes it would just leave the breeding place to do something else. And yeah, probably that takes a lot actually, because I spent a lot of times breeding a perfect chicken with a lot of work speed, but sometimes one of the chickens would just leave the place. And I'm also trying to build a cow now, Mona Lisa, the cow pal, well, whatever. And I was having issues with the pals to do that because one of them kept running from the breeding zone. So yeah, that's a great fix. That's probably the best fix they did so far. The key to lift pals has been changed from F to V and X to Y in pad in order to prevent accidents. That's probably due to the bottom to mount stuff and use everything is the same. I think you should let people assign that instead of just making a default key for that. I don't see why it would be a problem for like put just an option for people to assign whatever key they want for them to lift up stuff, but that also works. Sure, I'll have to get used to press V now when I want to lift them, but all right, that's a good change too. Reduce the speed and range of fire spreading on wooden buildings. That okay, like must be good, I guess. I haven't really had any problems with fire spreading speed so far. Well, whenever I had a problem was when I built some wooden walls and suddenly they started to catch on fire, and my pals wouldn't water it because they were not technically inside the base, so they wouldn't go as far as the base, even though some bits of the wall were connected directly passing through the base. So I was just destined to lose everything unless I demolish one part of the connection. But now that this is reduced and the range spreads, I guess less destruction. Not sure if that was really necessary, but maybe this was an issue that was pissing a lot of people off. But all right. Fix an issue where manual work assignments could not be set at all under certain circumstances. Yes, thank you so much. So for those who don't know, sometimes when you lift your pal and assign them to do some kind of job, they would say that this pal couldn't do this kind of job for whatever the fucking reason, and to fix that, you actually had to put him. I don't know how I fixed that the last time. How did I did it? I think I put him off of the base circulation, of the base, and then put it back. But I remember one time this haven't really worked out, so I have to lift him and put on another job and then put it back on the one that I wanted him to do, and that ended up fixing. But now that this is fixed, this is also great because I don't have to deal with that shit anymore. This is another fix that was just it was so much needed. This one was so much needed. Fixed an issue where extremely high level Roxoros would attack the base during raids. That never happened to me. Must suck, because a extremely high level Roxoros would probably wipe your entire base and you would have nothing that you could do about it. Added several measures to prevent base spells from getting stuck. This was also a problem that I had with specifically that Gamashuk, I don't know, the pal that is just a blob with a little twig on their heads. Because those guys, I had one guy that was a lucky of this guy, so he was pretty big and chunky, and sometimes he would just like spawn off the base or just stay out of the breeding zone when I was trying to breed him, and there was nothing I could do to prevent that to keep happening, because when I tried to lift him I couldn't, because he was like doing a job. or not. I'm not sure. I couldn't leave him by any means, so I had to remove him from my base and then put it back on the base, and then I have to lift him again to the breeding zone. And if that keep not happening, if that doesn't happen anymore, this is also great. I wonder if this will also make so the pals won't spawn on like layers of your house, because sometimes they would just spawn on the second floor of one of my houses, and that was just annoying, having to take them off my house again and put them back to work, because they would stay stuck there and not eat or sleep or do anything. They would just die if you didn't do anything about it. So yeah, I hope that fixes that too. Fixed an issue where pals would get stuck while transporting items and would drop them on the spot. I can't say that really happened to me. Maybe I see like once or twice this happening. The part of would drop them on the spot like didn't really affect me, I guess, but I've seen pals being stuck going in and out of places multiple times. I'm not sure if that was because they were transporting things or because they were going to do a job, but if that won't happen anymore, that's great. Fixed an issue where pals at the base would continue to cut down trees that were actually already cut. Yeah, that was annoying. I had some pals doing that, and I didn't understand what was happening, because they were attacking an empty spot, and I have to manually put them into attacking another spot, and then they would, after that spot, after that tree has been already cut down, they would keep attacking that same spot for no fucking reason, and I didn't know why. Now I know that this was actually something that was not intended to happen. I thought that maybe there was like a tree under the ground that was like triggering this behavior, but apparently not. They just didn't recognize the tree was already cut. And if that won't happen anymore, thank you so much. Fixed an issue where pals at a base were on the verge of death due to unexplained falling damage. Yeah, like I got one pal that was constantly getting killed by something, and I had no idea what was happening. Sometimes it would just appear dead when I got to my base got back to my base. That wasn't any raid alert, so I thought that maybe it was just a Pokemon, just a pal that was passing by, and it just killed him. But whenever there was an actual raid and they invaded the place, he would just always die for no reason. He was like level 22 and the invasion was around 20 or so, so it wouldn't make sense for him to die and other pals that were lower level than him will die. So maybe that's what's happening. I guess I'll have to see if this won't happen anymore to him. If it keeps happening, maybe that's not fixed, but this is just time will tell. So I hope that this really fixed that thing. I really hope that this was just falling damage that happened to him and now it's fixed. Fixed an issue where pals at the base would float under certain conditions. I haven't seen that happen. I haven't seen that happen. So, alright, okay. Fixed an issue where if a farm was built on the second floor or above, work pals would be unable to move to the floors below. Yeah, that's definitely one of the things that I talked about just seconds ago. There wasn't a farm on my second floor, but if they were on the second floor, they couldn't go down by no means. So if they can go down now, even if they spawn there now, I know that they can just go back and do weed stuff and go back to their work. So nice. I think there was a lot of correcting in the AI of the pals. Maybe they can move better now. Maybe the parts that fixed were improving that AI a little bit, because there was a lot of problem with them identifying obstacles and going through things. And this is also one of the things that happens in my base, is that the invasion sometimes trigger, but the pals just the pals that are invading, or the guys that are invading, just keep stuck on a like some sort of object that is also the limit of a mountain. Like it's a weird spot that they are really stuck in air or something like that, and they won't go down to attack my base. And maybe with that implementation they did, now they will start attacking, but I'll have to I have to wait and see if that really happens. Other. Corrected incorrect text. You know what? I haven't really talked to all NPCs, but I haven't really met anyone that has like a big error in their dialogues, something like that. Maybe I just don't know the language that much to the point that I can identify when something is wrong, unless it's like plainly and ridiculously on your face that is wrong. But all right, this is also good. You should always worry about your dialogues, because you know, orthography is that the word? You know, when you misspell words and say things that doesn't make sense, it just makes your game feel more unprofessional, you know. So putting effort in that is just that thing that kind of polishes your game, you know. Measures have been added to prevent cheating and stealing other players' spells. Yeah, thanks. Watch out, spell hunters. Many other minor fixes, such as the addition of a UI key guide. Okay. We will continue development, placing top priority on fixing major problems and issues. Thank you for your continued support in palworld. That's great to hear, because palworld still have some glitches that happen that were not mentioned in this. So I guess this is what they could do so far, and I am pretty hopeful that they will keep doing that. And I'm actually glad that they fixed a lot of. I mean, I'm just reading the things. I haven't really seen that they fixed those things, but I don't think they would just post something to say that they fixed something, but they actually didn't test it if they really fixed it. So I'm trusting on this patch note, and I am excited. I'm so excited. This game is doing something that's really great. It's really great, and despite what everyone is saying. Now this is just not a copy of Pokemon. There's so much more to palworld that is just Pokemon. There surely is some designs that are very similar and very similar to Pokemon, but a lot of them are just not. A lot of them are very original and very exciting, and the game proposal is completely different than Pokemon. It's just a lot of fun, and seeing the developers doing so much stuff in their game already. Like, it was like 2 weeks of release and they already doing updates on bug fixes. It's just nice. One glitch I think they should look for now is specifically on a dungeon. One time I got to face an Ache Deer as a dungeon boss, and one on a headbutt. He didn't push me through a wall, but through a ground instead, and I kept falling under the map. I'm not sure if that's some problem of the dungeon ground specifically, but that never happened in any other place. So maybe they should see through that spot and fix that thing. But other than that, there's just like there's a lot of other glitches like item multiplication still and stuff like that they should fix. And yeah, I think that the video is that, guys. Hope you had a good time. I hope you learned about the things. Probably you've seen this already in another channel, but I wanted to go through it with you because it's been a lot since you have seen my face and I spoke to you like that. I'm only focusing on playing video games now and palworld basically. I got really addicted to Season of Discovery a while back too, so that affected the channel a little bit. And actually there's something that I want to add here. Sometimes whenever I post a video, I would mention like I am doing a review on Pokemon Red and Blue, and I was really doing that review. It was like already 2 hours, maybe 3. I think it was almost getting to 3 hours, the length of the video. But my PC got infected by viruses and I had to reboot it or format it. I don't know how you say this in English. I had to wipe everything out and start fresh. And I saved a folder of my video editor that I thought that would keep the projects for the review that I was working with, but unfortunately that didn't happen and I lost everything. And I'm not gonna lie, that got me a little bit devastated. But I'm still thinking about what's going to be the next thing. I'm definitely, I mean, I won't say definitely, but I'm really not planning on making the review the same way I was doing. Maybe I'll do it like a little bit shorter. I'll adapt the content to be like an hour long, or maybe even definitely Pokemon Red and Blue is not a game that I can review it like in 10 minutes like I did with the Sakura Card Captor game. But I definitely want to keep doing reviews. It's a lot time consuming, and it gets me to actually stop playing. I have to actually stop playing the games that I am addicted now, and that's also really hard. But I just want to tell you that I do intend to keep posting reviews. Just after I go through this emotional damage I took, I'll start doing them again. But that's it for me. I hope you had, I think I said that already. You had a good time, and yeah, bye. Peace.